Hey everybody, it's Andrew and Rosario from Benefits TV, talking today about the video that I posted yesterday on Benefits TV regarding my experience at Starbucks over this past weekend.
That was a great video. I really liked all your thoughts on it. Can you just talk about a little bit more what you saw at Starbucks?
So really what I saw at Starbucks, I mean they're being really aggressive with anybody that walks in their store. And I don't mean aggressive like they're handing out applications, but they are in a way. I mean they have these five by seven cards with a QR code on it where you can apply right then and there. And it lists all the benefits that they offer. And what it got me thinking about what other employers in our area that aren't Starbucks or maybe not in the food services industry they can take away from what Starbucks is doing.
I really like that they're very transparent about what they're offering and they're using that right up front to try to attract employees.
Right. And even, I mean, at the Starbucks that I went to, they had those five by seven cards. But the Starbucks in my neighborhood, they have a sign that they wrote on in chalk. And they also included a Spotify premium membership, which for a younger person, I mean, maybe older person too, but I'm thinking a younger employee would gravitate towards. I think it's like $15 a month.
For an
And then,
application?
I'm sorry?
For an application?
No, like if you
Oh,
if you work for Starbucks,
oh,
you get premium Spotify membership as a benefit on top of the health insurance, the 401k, educational assistance, stuff like that. So it got me thinking, okay, what can employers do? And obviously, maybe these certain benefits don't speak to those that others are trying to attract. But do you even know, as an employer, who you're trying to attract and what it is that they want?
exactly. Looking at the type of employees that do go to Starbucks, that do work at Starbucks, Spotify membership definitely is something that would be attractive.
Right, right. But maybe not at a CPA firm or something like that. With that said, most employers, they say, okay, we need medical dental vision. Well, it says who? Because, just because somebody down the street's offering medical dental vision, maybe your employees are all covered by their spouse and they want a 401k contribution or the Spotify membership or something else, something different.
Right.
So it's really important for employees or employers rather to understand what it is that their workforce needs first and foremost by surveying them. And then
But I'm like,
go
I'm
ahead.
going to say no. So suggestion is survey your employees.
Survey your
But
employees, benchmark
I
your
was going to say, what
benefit.
do you think about what the competition is doing?
Definitely what you want to know what they're doing, because if most of your competition is offering something and you're not, well, the chances are now in this very tight labor market, the chances are your employees are going to be attracted to the benefits that the others are offering. So you want to make sure that you're up on that same level, if not exceeding what the others are doing.
Definitely twofold on that because you're not only looking at what your competition is doing. So, I mean, if it's a competition that you want to be like or exceed, it's either looking at what they're doing and mirroring it or exceeding it and doing something completely out of the box
Right.
as
And
far as
and being outside of the box is I say is probably the biggest key when you're trying to attract and retain people. I mean, what Starbucks is doing, you don't think of Starbucks or a company like Starbucks as you're going to get health insurance, 401k, stock options. You're not going to get a Spotify. You don't think like that. So that's part of the reason why Starbucks is probably putting all that out there. It's like, hey, look how awesome this place is. On top of that, we're paying for this job a competitive wage higher than minimum wage.
yeah.
And I've noticed that with other companies too, like Chick-fil-A, In-N-Out Burger, McDonald's lists all their stuff too. Not as creative as Starbucks, but so yeah, really it's figuring out what what the people that you want to attract want, and then how do you communicate that both to the people that you have currently and the people out on the street, so to speak.
So are you saying surveying your current employees and
Yes.
seeing,
Because really, if you already have a group of employees, why go out and try to attract others when you have to make sure that the people at home are happy. Because if they're
Right,
not happy, you're going to have to, and they leave, you're going to have to attract more than who you're trying to get now.
right.
So yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting. Really cool to see what Starbucks is doing because I think it's a great learning opportunity for other employers, not doing exactly what Starbucks is doing, but getting creative and learning from what the big players are doing.
Absolutely. You can definitely do that in this market, in this area even, which is really great because you can think, oh, they're such a big company. They can do all of that, but there's ways to be able to do that here as well for a smaller company.
Right, exactly. And that's what I mean by just being able to learn and see what others are doing and what's attracting people. Because I will say the one thing that what I was thinking about was that, Starbucks is paying $17 an hour starting,
Mhm.
which is higher than minimum wage and offering all these other benefits. And so if you look at a full-time salary, that's like 36,000 a year. So it's not a great deal of money. However, maybe there's somebody that makes 60,000 in cash compensation, but they don't get a lot of the extra perks. And they're working, you know, 30, 40, 50 hours a week, depending on what the job is,
So
you
are you
know,
thinking of making a career change?
not quite for me, not quite for me, but no, I mean, for somebody else, that might be like, oh, you know what? Because this is, Starbucks is, you go and it's a hard job being a barista and dealing with customers. But then when your shift's over, you leave and you're not taking calls, you know. So there's an element of stress that you don't take home with you that I think other people do
Right.
in other professions. So yeah, when you see that with the salary coupled with all the extra perks, it's like, okay, employers, because of the shift that we've had with COVID over the last year and a half, 2 years, employers are going to have a lot more competition from these organizations or these companies like Starbucks that you might not have thought you were competing with in the past.
Yes, definitely. A lot of people have shifted from a career that they might have landed in somehow, and now it's become this, uh, you know, COVID has just kind of changed the mentality of everybody of like, what do I want to do?
Right.
What is my passion project? What's the next step for me? And yeah, they could be
Exactly.
looking at something like Starbucks specifically because of that. Because you said
Exactly.
looking at the monetary compensation that they're getting versus the perks, all the perks that they're going to be receiving somewhere
Right.
else.
Right. And to your point on the passion project thing, gives them more time outside of the workplace to work on that. And I
Exactly.
know I know personally a lot of people that are doing that.
Yes,
So, you know, may as well land at a spot that's going to support you in
absolutely.
your interests outside of the job.
Yeah.
So if you want to hear more about what we're seeing in the marketplace about companies that are finding creative and fun ways to not only deploy their benefits, but communicate their benefits, or if you have general questions for us, please reach out to us on Instagram at Benefits TV.